Hello everyone, and welcome to the third episode of Sarah's Totally Unserious video blog. I'm Sarah, and I'd like to talk to you today about one of the curiosities that I found in Vermont, thanks to the folks at Roadside America. Now, I'm not traveling to these sites right now because I'm practicing social distancing, but I was able to visit this particular site this past summer, and I found that researching these curiosities online is almost as fun as being able to go there in person. So today I'm going to talk about the Mummy grave site in Middlebury, Vermont. There is a tombstone in this cemetery that's engraved with Egyptian hieroglyphics, and it has an inscription in English that says, "Ashes of Amam-Her-Kepesh F, aged 2 years, son of Sen-Waset III, king of Egypt, and his wife Hathor-Hotpeh, 1883 BC. So let me take a moment to give you a trigger warning. This mummy has had an interesting history in the United States, and many poor decisions have been made along the way. So you've been warned, don't shoot the messenger. So back in the late 1800s, there was a private collector, a wealthy man who decided to procure an Egyptian mummy for his museum collection. Now, they didn't really have mummy catalogs back then, and so he ordered this mummy without having seen it and not quite knowing what to expect. Apparently, when the mummy arrived, its condition was both tattered and drippy. Now, I've always been fascinated by the mummification process, and I'm no expert, but I don't really understand how a mummy could end up in a state where it would be described as drippy. Nonetheless, apparently this was the case. And it seems this private collector also was surprised by the condition of his mummy, and so disappointed that he banished it to a corner of his attic where it stayed until later, when the museum actually became public, and in 1945, the museum curator found this mummy in the attic. So, the mummy's board of directors discussed it, and for whatever reason, they decided not to exhibit the mummy, although one might expect that it had at least dried out by that point in time. And so what they decided to do was to give this mummy a proper Christian burial. And so, they ended up cremating the body, according to Roadside America, because they were concerned that otherwise college students in the area would want to dig it up out of curiosity. They cremated the mummy and then buried it in what is now the West Cemetery in Middlebury, Vermont. So, once this period of social distancing is complete, and whenever anyone happens to be in Vermont, I would encourage folks to go and look at that tomb of this mummy that's buried in Vermont. So, thank you for joining me for this episode of Sarah's Totally Unserious video blog. And remember, until tomorrow, don't touch your face.